Good morning, everyone, and welcome to day 3 of Daily Writes. Thank you very much for joining me. It's Wednesday, hump day. We might all be a bit tired, so I really appreciate you coming and joining in. And with that in mind, I'm planning on making today's session extra fun, hopefully. We'll see how that goes. So really, the session today, there's going to be 2 free writing exercises. And the kind of theme or idea of these is that I just want you to explore your natural story finding, story joining instinct. So it's something that we're very good at. I don't know if, like me, you kind of overhear snippets of conversation sometimes, and we're automatically trying to join them together in some kind of story. So it is something that we do very naturally, and that's something that I want to explore a bit more today. So 2 free writing exercises, 1 less than the other days. So I'm going to start by sharing a quote. So I've recently started reading a book called The Science of Storytelling by a guy called Will Storr. And it's a really brilliant book. If, like me, you're kind of interested in the how and the why we tell stories, then I would really recommend it. But this is a little quote from the start of the book, if I can share my screen. So let's just get this up as a PowerPoint. So he says, "Even sleep is no barrier to the brain's story-making processes. Craziness happens partly because the fact-checking senses are offline, and partly because the brain has to make sense of chaotic bursts of neural activity that are the result of our state of temporary paralysis. It explains this confusion as it explains everything, by roughing together a model of the world and magicking it into a cause and effect story." So I told you we were going to have a really fun session, and I've already started with a PowerPoint and some science. But the bit of that I want us to kind of hold in our heads today is about turning off the fact-checking bit of our brain. It's a super useful thing to have when we're editing stories. It's really not a useful thing to have when we're writing stories. So I just want us to forget about that. I would suggest that these 2 exercises today, it is pretty much impossible to write a good, solid story from them. So we're not even going to try. So the first exercise is a free writing one, like I said. And the way it works is I'm going to show you a picture. I'm going to share my screen again in a minute and show you a picture. And this will be the starting point for your free writing. But the bit that hopefully makes it a bit fun, but also slightly ridiculous, is that after 90 seconds, I'm going to give you a different picture, and we're going to try and incorporate into that into the story. And then another one, and then another one. So we kind of have 4 pictures in total. All I want you to do is just embrace it. We're going really quick fire. Whatever links your brain makes, we're just going to go with it. Equally, if after the first picture, it really sets something off and you're just going for it, then you are absolutely allowed to just ignore the following pictures that come up. That's your prerogative. Make it work for you. I would also say I do know it can be a bit difficult sometimes to kind of look at a picture on a screen, then write, then look, then write. So each time I put a picture up, I will also give you a very brief description of it, so that you don't have to look at the screen if you don't want to. So I will share my screen again. And the first picture you're going to have is of a forest glade. There, if this works. Oh, maybe you're not going to have a forest glade. Right, let me stop that for 1 second while I just get the right slide up. Apologies, I knew something would go wrong technically. So hopefully the first picture you're going to have is of a forest glade. There are some tall, slim trees, and there is light filtering through the forest, which is mossy green. So in 90 seconds, I'm going to come back with another picture. But until then, your free writing time starts now. Okay, so your next picture is up, and this is a mobile phone with a white screen on which the word hello is written. And your next picture, so this is a collection of instruments, including a cello, a harp, some wind instruments, and various drums. And then your final image to try and incorporate is a campfire against the night sky. And that's it. That's your time up. So I hope you enjoyed that. That was, like I say, very quick to try and incorporate 4 different images. But hopefully it just got your brain into that space where it's reactively joining stories in a similar way that we do when we're sleeping. Like I say, I don't imagine any of the stories are necessarily a full start to finish story, a really good quality story, but hopefully it's given you some ideas. And this is another exercise that I find really useful if I'm really struggling to kind of come up with ideas or I'm finding writer's block. It's just to get a load of images together and see what happens. So thank you very much for having a go. I think especially the other thing to say is these are really good exercise if you're feeling a bit sleepy. I think there is something as a writer about trying to utilize that slightly dreamy, sleepy space. So there's another book called The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron, and she talks about how you should write very first thing in the morning, so while you're still sort of between sleep and awake. And there's also lots of writers who advocate keeping a dream journal. It's amazing what our subconscious brain can do, and I think sometimes when we're awake we try too hard to filter or edit that, so it's really good if you can try and tap into that in some way. So the next exercise, the final exercise we're going to do is similar, but this time I'm going to give you a mood board with several images on. In fact, I'll share it now so I can talk you through it. She says, let's see if this works. No. Right, give me 2 seconds while I work this out. So yeah, I'm going to give you a board that's got lots of different images on it all at once. And it's your job then to try and either pick one image that you want to work with. You might pick a couple of images that you want to work with, or you might do something similar to what we've just done, so that you start with one of the images, and then if you feel like you're getting stuck or you just want to vary it, you might build one of the other images into the story. So hopefully you can see these now. So in the bottom left, we've got a kind of cityscape at night with a river. In the top left corner, we've got a group of friends in a circle peering over a camera. I assume they're friends, they might just be a group of people. We've also got an illustration of some different coloured bottles. We've got a collection of books all open at different pages. We have an alarm clock, which is showing about 2 minutes past 7. We have an illustrated pair of trainers, high top lace-up trainers. There is also a keyhole, a kind of antique, I would say, keyhole. In the bottom right, there is a mystical creature, which I have no idea what it is. It's got blue wings. It's got I'd say a cat-like face and feet that possibly have hooves on or claws. So there's lots of images there to start with. We're going to do this for 4 minutes. So like I say, if you want to just pick one of the images and see where that takes you, if you want to somehow come up with a story that joins all of those, you can. Or you can start with one and then come back to it to add another one when you feel like it. So I'm going to reset the clock. I'm going to time you for 4 minutes and I'm going to put myself on mute. So have fun and I'll see you in 4. And that's it. That's your time up. So finish what you're writing. So thank you very much for doing that. It's really hard doing this on video. I'd love to kind of chat to you all and find out which pictures you picked and what stories came out of it. But hopefully you had fun having a go anyway. I think the point of these sessions is to give you lots of exercises that will generate ideas, and also hopefully give you the tools that when you go away from this, you can make your own warm-up exercises if you need them. So, you know, pick any word, put it into a Google search and see what comes up. Maybe not any word, and use that as a starting point for a story and see where it takes you. So that's another 10 minutes writing done. Pat on the back. If you've been to all the sessions, you're already at half an hour, so well done. And just to say that if you've missed any of the sessions, or if you want to have another go or revisit anything, they are all being uploaded onto the Words YouTube channel. So I don't know how long they'll be up for, but certainly for a couple of weeks. So thank you very much for coming along, for taking part, and hopefully I'll see you all again tomorrow. All right, take care. Bye.